Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Yes, thank you very much for IGOV student for joining this class as the continuation from previous week, with Mas Bubu. So actually, this 2 weeks we are discussing the urban paradigm. As we know, we have 2 different paradigms in seeing or understanding city development. The first one, so-called urban political economy paradigm. And the second one, we have urban political ecology paradigm. Actually, these 2 different paradigms coexist each other. So we cannot separate by empirical case, but definition, I mean definite, what to say? By the definition, we actually easy to separate that political ecology and political economy are different. But in fact, these 2 paradigms actually coexist each other. I mean, one paradigm influence the other paradigm. So let's continue to the second paradigm. Sorry. Wait a minute. Sorry. Okay. Actually, we have to make sure our understanding on the paradigm itself, because sometimes we are confusing with the definition of paradigm. Yeah. In this case, I would like to use Pickford's definition on paradigm. When we see or we hear the word paradigm, we define as a set of related concepts. So we have many other concepts, right? So we have relational, we have connected between different concepts, or set of research questions and theories that a group of researchers find most useful for understanding the world. Yeah. So what we understand in the simple way, the definition of paradigm basically is the way how to, or the way we see, we understand the social and political phenomena. How do you understand about the city, for example? What kind of concept do you use or do you employ to understand the city? For example, you are employing a sociological perspective, geographical perspective, or even political perspective in our department. Based on sociological perspective, you understand the city as the multicultural entity within specific territorial boundary. So this will help us to understand what is the city. For example, other concept we are using like geographical concept. We then define the city as the related to the population. The city is the high population area, for example. So different paradigm may be or can be create different understanding in seeing or understanding the same phenomena. And also, according to Big Fans, when you are trying to understand the city, you might ask the question by asking question. For example, what kind of connection between people and people in the city, for example? And you said the people in the city basically not really connect one another. Maybe not so intensive connection. Wait a minute. Sorry. Sorry for interrupting this because I actually running the webinar. So some of committee still ongoing to start the webinar. Sorry. Okay. So the way to understanding the social or political phenomena can run or by asking the question is quite very interesting basically. But the question is not only about what is the city. You might asking about what kind of characteristic among the people living in the city, for example. So you might define the characteristic of people. For example, the people in the city basically is quite multicultural. For example, compared to the village, for example, or in the rural area. So it helps us to understand. What else? What kind of technology are used most by people within the city, for example? So you might define the city as high technology society, for example. So by doing so, actually, we can define the city with different kind of concept, right? Okay, that's the rule of paradigm in our in building our understanding, right? Okay, maybe I would like to review a bit about the two different paradigm. Maybe you already discussed in previous week, yeah. Urban ecology paradigm, as mentioned or discussed in this book by Nancy Klenesky and Alex Thomas, the title of the book, and it is available for full version. Yeah, the title is "The Cities, Change and Conflict: A Political Economy of Urban Life." Yeah, it is a very actually reference book. Yeah, maybe a bit textbook. Yeah, because in the end of the chapter, always they have discussion and question. Yeah. Urban ecology paradigm itself have many different kind of understanding. Yeah. So Flanagan actually not the only one to define urban ecology paradigm. But in the simple way, basically, urban ecology can be understood is about how about the share many assumption with theory of social organization and structural functionalism. Urban ecology stressing the orderly interaction of independent part of social system within cities. So the keyword the keyword to understand this urban ecology paradigm is about the interaction and interdependent. Social system actually absolutely follow the way of ecosystem. Yeah. When we are trying to understand how the social system work, actually we can use ecosystem theory. Yeah. Ecosystem theory or web of life theory, according to Fritjof Capra, for example, they said that every single member of ecosystem basically depend on other individual what to say individual ecosystem. For example, we depend on other species, yeah, to support our life or to continue our life. So this interdependent between one to other species called ecosystem or web of life. What kind of contribution of urban ecology to understand the city? Of course, you imagine, yeah, we are living in the city. You can, or you are not growing, you are not doing urban farming. You are student, for example, and you need food, right? You need market, you need seller, you need hospital, right? So we depend on different kind of structure or social system or even political system. Okay, I will continue to the second political economy paradigm, but you already discussed a little bit last week. The second paradigm we discussed today is political economy paradigm. The concept came from John Walton in 1993. This paradigm stresses the use of power, domination, and resources in shaping of city. So when we are talking about political economy paradigm, this is about politics, about power, about domination, or even about the struggle to get access for resources, yeah, like food, and then oxygen is about the health system, yeah. Okay, let's move to the next slide to make more detail about the urban ecology paradigm. We have three main points of urban ecology paradigm. The first one, urban ecology assumption that society follow natural laws. So the law of society, as human society, actually almost similar, yeah, with the natural law, yeah, because human itself actually part of nature, part of nature. So we mostly follow the order of natural law. Yeah. For example, when we are feel hungry, for example, we try to get food, for example, or have lunch or dinner or breakfast, for example. Yeah. This is exactly the natural law. When you are sick, for example, you need hospital, you need doctor. Yeah. And the doctor also need the medicine to help the patient. Yeah. So this is what we call natural law. And the second point of urban ecology is the ecologists' emphasis on describing urban pattern, confine them to superficial question of where different activity took place and how those patterns change rather than why they change. So as we understand, the city actually contain many different kind of people, many different kind of activity, many different what to call building, and also we have zonatization, yeah, in the city. And the last one, urban ecology assumption that competition for land within the market determine the location of different land use, distracted researcher from the important impact that government official and other powerful actor could have on the city through policy decision. So it's quite similar with urban economy paradigm, because even in the urban ecology assumption, they feel the competition within the city toward land access or resources quite obvious. Yeah. So like many other species, in some degree, they are compete each other naturally, yeah. But the difference of other species and human species is the competition is quite different. Yeah. Other species maybe compete with natural, what you call alamiah, right? But the human being or human like us sometimes compete each other with many different instrument or power, yeah. Like what capitalists done or doing, for example, they deserve or they try to get as much as possible the profit, and in the same time they make other cannot or didn't get the access, for example. So it is quite different way of competition, yeah, between human and the other species. Okay, so far, any question about urban ecology paradigm? It's quite easy to understand. I will share as well this slide to the class. But if you have any question or comment about this paradigm, please, if any of you. Not yet? Hello? Okay, I will continue if you have no comment so far. Okay, this is what we call the example of urban ecology within the city. Yeah. The city have different model, yeah, in developing or in its development. Yeah. This model we call concentric zone in the city. So the city have the central. Yeah, you might imagine the Jakarta, maybe central Jakarta or Surabaya. But it's not always the same, right? Maybe this kind of concentric zone, this type, maybe not not uh, not indicate the Jakarta or Surabaya, but maybe it happened in several countries or city in the world. Yeah. In the first circle, we have around this circle, the lingkaran loop. Yeah. They have factory zone, yeah, pabrik, industrial zone, yeah, here. And then between the industry or factory zone, we have transition, the distance here, zone in transition. Maybe some people in Jakarta case maybe live here as well in the transition, but actually there are zone 3, what we call housing, yeah. Not housing for public, but housing for worker, yeah, because they need not too far, so will effectively or reduce the time to come and go, yeah, to from the factory to their home, yeah. And of course, in this area, actually not really good area, best area to live, yeah, because of course this distance from the factory maybe contribute to the what you call crowded and then not healthy because the water pollution or air pollution, yeah, and so on. And this residential zone in general, yeah. And this also have commuter zone, yeah. It is actually a place that very maybe very cheap. For example, in Depok, yeah, or in Tangerang, yeah. They are commuter mean they are they have to move from one place to different place to work or to make money, for example, yeah. This concentric zone. In this in more detail, yeah. This kind of yeah, it is the same, yeah, but they already put different kind of entry, yeah, like apartment, residential, hotel, and many other facility within the city. Maybe in the Maybe you might find what kind of city in Indonesia that follow this concentric zone. Yeah. I'm asking question, yeah. Maybe you have experience to observe the city. Maybe Yogyakarta. No? What do you think? Do you find the concentric zone in Indonesia cities? We have Yogyakarta, Surabaya, Palangkaraya, for example, Bandung, Malang, and so on. Any idea? Jihan, do you have comment, opinion about the type of concentric zone in Indonesia case, for example, or Karisa? Who else? We have many students. Heavy or Alifian, Reza, Yuda, Saiful Ridwan. Do you have opinion about this type of city in Indonesia? No, nothing. Maybe homework, yeah. Homework, yeah. If you are not discussing now, maybe become homework to find the different type of city in Indonesia case. And you might discuss with your friend, or you might using digital resources to observe the city, for example, by using drone, yeah, to understand the type of city, yeah, a model of city development, whether concentric or other different model. We actually have a sectoral model and also multiple nuclei model. Yeah. And to make this knowledge useful, we might try to make example in Indonesia. So we have three different models: concentric, sectoral, and multiple or sector, ya. In bahasa Indonesia we call sektoral, sector model, and nuclei, multiple nuclei. Okay, please, I give you 5 to 10 minutes to respond or to find, to research in your laptop or in your cell phone to find what city in Indonesia consider a sector model development and multiple nuclei and also concentric model. Okay, I give you 5 minutes. Or even because you are IGOV, maybe you might find from different country. Yeah, so I not limit this discussion in case in Indonesia case, but global wide. But you might observe in many different world in this in about the city, yeah, about the model. You may raise hand if you already have or get the answer. Okay. If you didn't find, mean it is homework for individual, and you have to put your reason. For example, Yogyakarta consider a sector model in its development. Why? Because according to the map of the city, blah blah blah. Yeah. So you put a reason. Yeah. You put a reason and the map of city, and you put your comment or your argument why you call Bandung as multiple nuclei, why you call Jakarta as concentric model in one or two paragraph only. Yeah. So you have to show this kind of map, but in the real situation. For example, Yogyakarta. So this is Yogyakarta. India is a market zone and educational building or hospital in many different place, and then residential or housing, and so on. The different type of housing, that's okay, residential, apartment, and so on. Hello? No one would like to put comment or opinion? This just opinion, yeah? You are not supposed to have correct answer. We just try to understand the model of city from the theoretical perspective, like three different model, and how we able to use this knowledge to observe or to imagine what kind of model the city we know. Yeah, for example, you already know Yogyakarta, of course. You I think you also have knowledge about Jakarta, right? What kind of model actually the city development. All right, I'm still waiting for your opinion. Otherwise, this is homework for this week, yeah? And you might upload in my class. Additional homework, yeah, because this is no regular homework. Okay, No one? All right. I will put this question in my class, and you may respond to the question in my class as well. So students, actually, we have next week, or we have two guest lecture from basically alumni from ilmu pemerintahan, but they also gain their master degree abroad, yeah, in Australia and from Paris. They are actually doing research on the city development as well. So maybe we have a couple guest lecture and also public lecture from the urban designer speaker, yeah, and also from USA, living in USA, but from Indonesia, but doing her master urban design, yeah. Okay, I will make more detailed information in the group during this week. Okay, any question? If no question at all, I will like to close this lecture today. It's enough. I hope you try to understand this subject with a lot of effort in discussion, reading, writing, so you might get more comprehensive understanding in this subject. And don't forget to make attendance in my class. Thank you. If no one going to ask or comment, that's all for today. Or before I close this lecture, maybe anyone who would like to say something? No? Yes, please. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Who is saying? Hello, anyone?
I think enough, sir.
All right, okay. Oh, thank you for coming today, and see you next week. And please make useful your group, our group WhatsApp, to discuss, or do you have already group, yeah, for assignment, right? Small group, not yet. And also the topic of optional topic already from Mas Bobo? Not yet. Okay, so quiet today, the class. That's okay. Thank you and see you next week. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, have a nice day.
Okay.
All of you.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you.